If you hear these words, know that it is no accident. This is a response, a resonance of your soul, which has long awaited this call. The ancient Mayan calendar, this mysterious compass of time, speaks not of fatal endings, but of coming transformations. It tells of great cycles, of pivotal moments in history, of an awakening that has already begun. And if you find yourself here, it means you are part of this awakening. Before we step across the threshold of the most sacred, make your choice. Your like is not merely an expression of approval. It is your declaration of intent. Your subscription is an enlistment among those who seek truth. December 2012, the world held its breath in anticipation. The predicted end of the world, that very apocalypse, sounded like the final act of a play written for us by unknown, higher powers. From childhood, we were fed fears, painted terrifying visions of coming destruction in our imaginations, whispered about sinister omens and portents, and we, entranced, listened. We truly believed. After all, it is so incredibly simple. To shift the responsibility for our own existence onto the shoulders of external forces, be they ancient gods, blind fate, or simply a soulless cosmic calendar that, as it turned out, could do more than just count down the passing days. But what if all of this was not the end at all? What if it was merely a dense curtain, slowly lowered before the start of the next, completely different act? An act that we are incapable of seeing until we learn to look at the world entirely differently, through the prism of new understanding. The truth that they, hiding it behind a colorful screen of endless news, carefully protect from us, is actually simple and terrifyingly sobering. This is not some conspiracy theory concocted to frighten. This is a genuine, large-scale conspiracy against your very consciousness. We are prisoners of illusion, an artificially constructed cage woven from our own fears, insatiable desires, and carefully crafted false narratives. The ancient Mayan calendar, that priceless artifact of lost wisdom, did not foretell our end of the world, but merely served as a key, opening the gates to true liberation. Its mysterious cycles are not a bottomless spiral leading down to ruin, but an ascending spiral, guiding us through the dense layers of ignorance towards the radiant light of full awareness. As a clear example, let us consider the incident known as the Chimera Protocol leak. This document details the deliberate dissemination of informational pathogens, true mental viruses, created with the sole purpose of paralyzing human will and irrevocably clouding the mind. And this is not mere fiction, not a product of imagination. This is a real employed tactic. You feel it yourself, don't you? You feel how the familiar world around you becomes increasingly absurd, increasingly alien. Look at the passers-by on the street, and you see only pale shadows, distorted reflections of the very fears that the current system so persistently instills in us. Ancient texts, despite the clear diversity of cultures and times from which they originate, speak of the same thing. A lost quatrain from Centuria 11, verse 93, foretold a shift of ash, an era when the earth's firmament will tremble, not from fire, but from an explosion in minds. This resonates with the revelations of the Gnostics, who described our world as a prison created by a demiurge, where souls are eternally captive within the shells of matter and the veil of ignorance. The hermit monk Kenshin, whose scrolls were discovered in the ashes of a monastery on Mount Kurama, left behind writings about a great awakening that is coming when the threads of illusion will be torn. And now, turn your gaze to modern science, or more accurately, to its fragments, to those crumbs of truth that seep through dense filters of control, fractal patterns in geopolitical events, Is this not an echo of the very patterns the Maya observed in the movement of celestial bodies and the eternal rhythms of nature? The collapse of quantum probability, is this not a metaphor for our own choices? Our transition from the state of a sleeping observer to the role of an active creator? The influence of solar cycles on the noosphere is not merely dry astrophysics. It is ancient wisdom speaking of the inseparable connection between the cosmos and our collective consciousness. All these seemingly disconnected elements now blend into a single mighty chorus, that unexplainable anxiety that washes over you at 3 a.m. When the world is deep in slumber and you are face to face with your own thoughts. That sharp sense of alienation when you peer into the faces of passers-by, seeing in them only shadows reflecting your own loneliness. This is not mere melancholy or the blues. This is your soul, gasping for air within the tight confines of an imposed matrix. It is a quiet yet insistent call to awakening, one you feel even without the ability to put it into words. It is a vague premonition of coming changes, changes that promise both inevitable pain and hitherto unseen hope. You sense that the reality relentlessly forced upon you is but an illusion, a falsehood. And you are absolutely right. We have indeed been living in a world of shadows. A world where our deepest fears became mere tools in the hands of those who sought to control us, and our most cherished desires transformed into chains, mercilessly binding us to an endless consumer spiral. A world where these unseen, elusive architects of our reality, played with us like Sarong pawns on a giant chessboard. They skillfully managed our attention, fed themselves on our life force, and ruthlessly exploited our own ignorance, turning it against us. But what if all these monsters, wars, crises, pandemics, are merely shadows dancing on the wall of an ancient cave? What if the true tyrant, the one holding us captive, gazes at us directly from our own reflection? Yes, precisely. We ourselves have become accomplices in our own enslavement, willingly signing up for this fate. We chose the cozy illusion of comfort, abandoning the thorny yet authentic path of truth. We preferred sweet slumber over wakefulness, forgetting the clarity that awakening bestows. Yet the universe does not inflict punishment upon humanity. It merely inexorably burns away the ingrained poison. The poison of fear, of impenetrable ignorance, and the tenacious embrace of materialism. This is akin to a grand cosmic surgical procedure. Agonizing, undoubtedly, but vitally necessary. And that crown of glass, so often spoken of, is simply our own fragile, inflated pride, our ego, which shatters so easily and ruthlessly against stark yet truthful reality. Metallic veins is a metaphor for the soulless, mechanistic system permeating our existence, where absolute dominion belongs to the cold logic of profit and all-encompassing control. All of this must fall, yielding to the new, born from the ashes of the old. The prophet saw not a solitary figure, but an entire host of souls, awakened from a long slumber. They saw precisely you. You are not merely a faceless grain of sand in the grand tapestry of prophecy. You are its living, breathing embodiment. You are the one capable of tearing asunder the age-old chains that bind freedom. You are the one capable of rewriting the very laws of reality. Your true strength lies not in external attributes. It resides deep within you. This is not a warning. This is a call to action, a call to awaken. The ancient Mayan calendar is not a sinister clock ticking down the end of an era, but rather a wise compass, pointing the true direction. The direction to finding freedom, the direction to grasping truth, the direction to yourself. Now that your eyes have been opened, you cannot remain idle. Each of your likes is a bright flash of light, illuminating the entire boundless world of the web, calling others to awaken as well. Your call to share is a tiny seed you cast into the silent desert of sleeping minds, hoping it will sprout. Your subscription, however, is like an oath, obligating you to stay close and listen. If you feel you are ready for something more, our inner circle becomes a reliable operational base for you, a source of deep knowledge and like-minded individuals. And your support, expressed through super thanks, is invaluable energy that fuels our common flame in this relentless battle against the encroaching darkness that envelops the world. Until our next meeting, remain mindful, stay connected, and never, do you hear, never stop asking questions.